Hey guys, this is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with today's midday analysis. Let's get started with today's analysis. We're going to start with Euro USD daily and we're going to work our way down. There's nothing much happening. Like the trade on Euro USD has already kind of triggered. So we're not going to see anything really that's tradable here. But we will go over the trade. Okay, so this trade I mentioned, or this potential trade I mentioned in yesterday's analysis. In yesterday's analysis, we took a look at Euro USD, and at the time, it was kind of stalling on the 3 hour. So there were signs that price was going to kind of start to stall a little bit. And I suggested that potentially in the coming 6 to 12 hours, we might see a reversal set up there. That ended up happening. So I ended up predicting that right, but that does not make me special. And it doesn't make me psychic or anything. I mean, a lot of the times I'll look at a chart and I'll predict that a setup is potentially going to form, and it just doesn't happen. A lot of the times I do that in this analysis, but it looks like yesterday I was right, and a setup did form, and I am currently in that trade setup. Yeah, those are my rough numbers for this trade setup. And yeah, it seems to be going okay now, but it's still early days with this trade setup. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's a pretty basic setup. It's got a decent preceding trend heading into an area of support. The indecision candle on the 8 hour chart was awesome. It was quite clear that buyers started fighting for control of price down here. Then buyers pushed up, broke the high of the indecision candle. They took control of price. I think I waited just a little bit longer than that. Or I waited for, yeah, I waited just a little bit. I didn't enter right away as soon as it broke. I waited a little bit, but then I got into the trade, and yep, it's moving up steadily right now. Who entered this trade? Nick without a C entered. Adrian entered. And a lot of people are typing. Stuart, Sarah. Okay. So a lot of people entered. All right. You missed it. Oh, well, whatever. It's fine. There'll be plenty of other trades. Well, all right. To all you guys who entered, I guess good job on spotting the trade and entering. Or good job on seeing my post on the forum and entering. Yeah, the trade looks like it's going well right now. Like I said, it's still early days. I would just hold this one. I am going to hold this one, but I would just suggest to hold this one. Tomorrow is Friday, so I'd probably want to exit sometime tomorrow, even if it hasn't reached its full target. Not too sure if I want to hold a Euro trade over the weekend, given that Brexit news is, still a possibility that we're going to get some Brexit news that moves the pound and the euro. And I just don't like holding over the weekend when there's huge potential for news like that. So I would be looking to get out of this trade sometime tomorrow. I wouldn't want to hold it over the weekend. Of course, that's how I'm going to handle the trade. That doesn't mean you should handle it in the same way, but it's just something to think about with this setup. All right, let's move on to another pair. All right, New Zealand CAD. What's going on with New Zealand CAD? I actually closed out my New Zealand CAD trade. I don't necessarily think it's not a good setup anymore. I closed it out at break even. I just wanted to enter the Euro USD trade, and I don't always like being in two trades at once. I just wanted to be in the Euro USD trade. I thought the Euro USD trade looked a lot better, so I pulled out of New Zealand CAD. I got out at break even, so there was no loss there. I think there was actually a 2 pip gain, so it wasn't there wasn't a loss at all. But to those of you who are still in, to those of you who want to have two trades running, to those of you who didn't get the Euro USD trade, this is not a bad setup right now. It's still looking okay overall. I know it keeps moving up and down, and that is annoying, and that was annoying me too. It kept getting very, very close to the stop and then pulling back, close to the stop and pulling back. But overall, we still have this resistance area. This resistance area is still strong. It's held out very, very well. The highs of these two candles here, they held out very, very well also. So, you know, and it's sinking back down now. Overall, it's still a pretty decent, you're still in a pretty decent position. So just because I exited for my own reasons. I didn't want to be in two trades at once today. That doesn't mean I never take two trades at once, but just today I didn't want to be in two trades at once. So I reduced my risk. I pulled out New Zealand CAD and I went for Euro USD. But that doesn't mean that you guys should pull out too. I pulled out for my own reasons. This trade is still overall looking good. If you look at the daily chart, it looks like a reversal is forming on the daily. That might not exactly be good news because obviously the weekend's coming up. But you know, it still looks like we've got a solid reversal forming on the daily, and on the daily it looks like a pretty decent setup. So you know, this could even be entered as a fresh trade on the daily after this daily candle closes. So actually, yeah, that's going to be that's a potential trade forming on today. For anyone who didn't enter New Zealand CAD originally, it is now forming on the daily, and it has potential for a 1 to 1.7 risk reward ratio, or even a 2 if you want to stretch it down to the next support area. So yeah, my advice would be to hold on to this trade if you're still in it. Yeah, just hold on to it. And if you're not in it and you want to get in, like I said, it's forming nicely on the daily. On the daily, if the candle closes exactly as is now, which may not happen, but it is possible. If the candle closes as is now, this would be a pretty decent daily setup. Let's look at it on the 12 hour. Not as good on the 12, but it would be a pretty decent daily setup. On the daily, I'd probably trade at something like this. Entry at around about 94.35, target at 93.25, and stop loss at 94.85. The target could be a bit smaller if you're willing to take a 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio. That would probably be safer overall because there is signs of price stalling around about here. We can see on its way down, bam. Then it came through, and then on its way back up, it stalled for a while. So it might not be a bad idea to go for a 1.5 risk reward ratio and take your target here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly read Digitok's question. Usually hold over the weekends if needed. Why would you hold non-Euro GBP trades over the weekend? Yeah, big Brexit news can definitely move any pair, but it's going to move the euro and the pound a lot more than it's going to move anything else. I've just got a very, very cautious outlook or attitude towards trading euro and GBP right now. There was a period right after Brexit where I didn't trade those currencies at all. I've started trading them again, but I'm still trading with a slightly reduced risk, and overall, I'm just very, very wary about euro and pound trades, and I don't want to hold them over the weekend. Oh, why would I? Would you? Would I hold non-Euro GBP trades over the weekend? Sorry, I misread the question, man. Yeah. I wouldn't really mind holding, like, let's say theoretically, I were to re-enter this New Zealand CAD trade. I really do not plan to, even if it closes well on the daily. I'm probably not going to re-enter. But I'm just saying theoretically, if I were to re-enter this one, and it's a Friday, then I would be expecting that this trade's not going to hit its target until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then yeah, I would hold the New Zealand CAD trade over the weekend. I'm just mostly worried about euro and pounds right now. Those are the ones that are kind of scary. So anyway, so far in the analysis, we're getting a little all over the place today. So just to summarize, keep a close eye on New Zealand CAD. This is starting to look like a pretty decent daily setup, so you may want to enter it on the daily. It's very, very clear that buyers are absolutely struggling with this high. They just cannot get through that high. They've had 3 days where they attempted to break that high and they couldn't get through it. So this resistance area is good. It's a good, strong resistance area. You got indecision forming slightly below the resistance area, but it gives you a good enough risk to reward ratio. So, you know, this might be a decent trade on the daily. Let's check out Euro GBP. It's in between two support resistance areas, so yeah, we're not getting anything here. Again, in between two support resistance areas on USD CAD, so we're not getting anything homing here. AUD USD is just ranging on this area, and it has been for days now. Yeah, no real potential for a trade here. At least not the kind of trade I'd want to take. What about USD CHF? Come on, stop lagging out your charts. Yeah, nothing really on USD CHF either. All right, let's look at Euro AUD. Fab, I posted it to the forum. It's a custom script I made for TradingView. It's in the pub section of the forum. You can download it, and yeah. Nothing's happening on Euro AUD either. So let's look at USD JPY. USD JPY, like it's been doing for a few days, is just stuck on the support area. A lot of pairs have just fallen into these really, really tight ranges, which makes it impossible, obviously, to get a reversal trade from them. You know, you might be getting a breakout here sometime soon, but as for reversal trades, it's just not happening. This New Zealand USD stuck on this support area for days too, or at least testing this, resistance area, testing this resistance area for days. Okay, GBP USD is in between two support resistance areas, so oh, I was wondering why this was there. This is still that GBP JPY trade. Anyone in the room still in this one? A few people on the forum entered. I'm not sure if anyone ended up staying in, because it's been going for days now. Look how close it came to its target too. Oh, but I'm assuming some people probably took out the... Nobody's still in this one? All right, no one's still in it, so no sense in talking about it. Euro GBP is still in this tight range. Yeah. AUD New Zealand is in between two support resistance areas. Today definitely looks like a bit of a dull day. We'll go back to the daily in a second on AUD-JPY. I just want to see what price is doing on these other time frames. All right. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I was wondering if maybe like on the 2-day chart, maybe the 3-day chart. Yeah, okay, on the 3-day chart, you can see it's starting to look kind of like a reversal, but I don't know. It's fallen below the support area, and the support area is there for good reason. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything here. Let's end things with GBP, AUD. Yeah, okay. It's in between two support resistance areas, but oops. I'm just seeing if I can adjust the support, this resistance area, because it does kind of look like, oh, it has a pretty strong bounce there. Oh, and it has some bounces there. This is going back to 2013. I don't particularly like going back to 2013, but we really don't have very much data to work with on pound pairs right now because of how far it fell. It's fallen down into these new areas here, and that gives us very, very little information to work with for placing our support resistance areas. So originally I placed it up there, and there was no area here. And I guess there could still be one up there and one here. But my main point is we have very, very little information to work with when placing our support resistance areas. So support resistance areas on a lot of the pound pairs right now are a work in progress. You place them, then you need to adjust them a few days later as you get more and more bounces. Now the reason I'm placing this one is because it kind of looks like we have price stalling there. So I was looking at price stalling here and I was thinking, you know, what if there was support resistance there? So I placed the support resistance, and then when I look, perhaps push it a bit higher, you know, there is some evidence of bounces from there. You know, they might not be very clear on the 12-hour, but if you go down to the 8-hour or the 6-hour or something like that, they become clearer. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at those bounces. I was looking at them on the 12-hour. I'm just moving down to the 6-hour just to show you that they look a bit clearer on the 6-hour. And then taking it all the way back to 2013, which is really, and we do have sort of a bounce there. You know, it's not really a bounce because it gapped down, but it's kind of a bounce. Going back to 2013, it's not something I like to do, really. I don't really like going back that far these days to get my support resistance areas. But, you know, that being said, when you don't have a lot of data to work with, then you just kind of have to, don't you? So when you go back, it does still look like a solid support resistance area. Ah, 2010, let's not go back that far. Let's not go crazy. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. In 2013, it had some very major bounces, and then recently, and you got to keep in mind, the other important thing is, even though I don't like going back to 2013 to place my support resistance areas, if it's the only reference point you have because price has moved down to lows that it hasn't seen since 2013, then you just got to do what you got to do to get your support resistance area. So I am putting a support resistance area here. The reason is because we had some strong bounces in 2013. That is the lesser reason. But one of the major reasons is we had recent bounces from this area. And we're seeing an active bounce right now. Price is definitely stalling in this area. And when you couple the fact with price stalling in this area, so you couple that with these recent bounces here, that is enough for me to say, okay, there's maybe support resistance here. Then you add in the fact that we had those major bounces in 2013. You took the trade, cool. So yeah, I think I could place this area here. So you took the trade, Nick with no C. Yeah, I'm assuming you took it on the 8 hour or something like that. Four hour. Oh, okay, I'll say that on the 4 hour. I probably would have waited for the 8 personally, but that's just me. Yeah, it's going okay, isn't it? Lower lows, pulling back up a bit, but that's nothing to worry about, generally speaking. It's a bit late to enter on the 8 hour. I'm gonna keep an eye on it on the daily. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it on the daily, see how it plays out. I'd like it if this pulled back up a little bit today and formed into a nice indecision candle, but even like this, I would probably consider entering. This is roughly how I would trade it. Now, imagining that this candle closes exactly as is, which might not happen, obviously, but if it does, if it closes exactly as it is now. This, because this recent candle here currently has a lower low and a higher high, I would probably just use those as my entry and stop. So I'd be trading at something like this. At the next support area, you're just getting a 2 risk reward ratio. If it closes exactly as is now, you're getting just getting a 2 risk reward ratio. But as I've explained recently, I'm also happy to go for a 1.5 risk to reward ratio. So I would be, yeah, it seems like a trade that might be worth entering. Yeah, nothing much else to say about it, unless you guys have any questions about it. Checking out your GBP CHF trade, Nick. Oh, that actually looks pretty decent. Did you post that to the forum, Nick? I don't remember seeing GBP CHF on the forum. Yeah, help your fellow trader, Nick. But it's fine, man. If you don't have time or if you were too busy or whatever. I don't always post trades to the forum. Like if I'm in bed and I take a trade, I'm not going to get out of bed to go post to the forum. Because sometimes I trade from bed because, you know, trades can form any time of day. But yeah, that looks like a decent trade. I don't have support resistance areas placed, but I'm assuming you have a support resistance area there, which looks like, yeah, it looks like a decent support resistance area. Right, we're going to run into the same problem with placing support resistance areas here. That problem being that, I know this one would be even worse, wouldn't it? Because it's a CHF pair. Yeah, good luck. So it's hard to place support resistance areas on this pair, but the low is near that low that happened on that horrible day. Horrible for a lot of people. Horrible for a lot of brokers too. That went bankrupt that day. Yeah, looks like a decent trade, man. Good work. Good work spotting it. Oh, you did, Fab? I swear I didn't see that trade on the forum. Oh, okay, you did. Yeah, I see it 10 hours ago. I don't know how I missed it. So you're in too, Fab? All right, nice work to both of you then. It's not a pair I monitor, so I didn't see it. 10 hours ago, what was it? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was in bed, so that's probably why I didn't see it. Let's just summarize this analysis. GBP AUD is the only real setup I'm seeing. New Zealand CAD has already started its move down, so it's too late for the daily for anyone who wanted to enter it there. GBP AUD looks good on the daily and to a lesser extent the 12-hour. I'm probably going to hold out for the daily. If it closes as it is now, I'd probably trade it something like this. Maybe pull my target down a little bit, just depends how it goes. But I am going to be keeping a close eye on GBP AUD. That's pretty much all I'm going to be keeping a close eye on for today. Other than, of course, the trade that I'm actually in, Euro USD long. So I'll see you guys for next week's analysis. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up below. If you have any questions regarding this video, then leave a comment below and I'll respond to it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified as soon as I upload my videos. My Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Thanks again for watching and happy trading.